Hi everyone, in this lecture we are going to talk about max content. First let's take a look at our HTML, and HTML is a little bit different because when it comes to max content means we are dealing either with the width of the column tracks or the height of the row tracks. So I want them to be different. So these words, each of them have like a specific length, and we are going to use that to basically cover what it is that we want to study in here. Now, the styles, they're going to be very simple. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to show it to you. The web page. So we have complete HTML-CSS tutorial with 3 websites. And then we have this text which says comprehensibility is possibility. And now let's jump into CSS first. Now, max content is actually a property value. So it's like you would specify 1FR, 100 pixels, like 10%, whatever. They are property values. Max content is also a property value. And then our next lecture, we're going to talk about min content. That is also a property value. So first thing you need to keep in mind, max content is not a property. It's a property value. It could be used with either the grid template columns or grid template rows, but it is a best practice to be used with template columns. You could use it with template rows. It depends on your specific application, on what it is that you are actually trying to do. So if I were to say grid template columns, 1FR, 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 and 1FR, what is it that I'm actually trying to say? It means that I want my container to be divided into these set of FRs. How many FRs do I have here? So I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there are 4 FRs because all of them have 1 FR in them. That accumulates to 4. So it means that 1 FR is going to be 1 fraction, 1/4 of a fraction of the entire grid container that we have. So we have basically divided our grid container into 4 flexible parts. One part of that is going to be 1 FR. In case any of these were 2 FRs, then we would have a different proportion. That's why FR is an extremely flexible value. You can't really like pinpoint the pixel size of an FR. It's really difficult to do that. That's actually why it was created, because it makes absolute units completely obsolete when it comes to using FRs. So I'm just going to save this. Let's go into our web page. So you can see that we have 4 columns, and it doesn't matter what the content is. It's always going to be the same. So our container is divided into 4 fractions. Each column is going to take up 1 fraction of that division. Now, if I say grid template columns, 1FR, 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 and then I am going to say max content. So what does actually max content do in here? Max content says that the width of the column should be adjusted to cover the maximum width that the content requires, and all the extra space has to be trimmed out without creating any line breaks. That is the last part is the difference between max content and min content. So min content is going to create line breaks. Max content is going to provide you the maximum content that the content of the web page requires without creating any line breaks. So if I save it, we are basically taking a look at the final column that we have, comprehensibility is possibility. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Now you can see that column 1, 2, 3, they're bigger, and column 4, it's smaller. Why? Because the width of the column has been adjusted to account for the width of the content that we have. And it is going to basically trim the extra space, the extra values, the extra white space that we had there. So if I comment this one out, you can see that we have space on the left and we have space on the right. It basically is going to trim that out without creating any line breaks. So there is no line break right here. Now, with this, our lecture comes to an end. In our next lecture, we're going to talk about min content.